logical place to kind of spin off to do this project that involves people getting to know each other, and then, of course, as you know, as you put a personal connection to a label, then people begin to understand better. And I made myself a list of some of the books that I know we have coming. We have somebody with cerebral palsy and another person with myotonic dystrophy, which is similar to muscular dystrophy. We have a person with a mental disability and a variety of different physical disabilities. We have a gay parent, an elected official, somebody who is homeless, a Tibetan, a woman minister, a Holocaust survivor, a World War II vet, a Wiccan. And these are just some of the people, and we know we don't have all of our books in yet. So I just think it's going to be really interesting. We believe that if people come with the idea of being open and willing to talk and wanting to understand, that it can only be good. And so we're really pretty excited about it. We have no idea how this whole thing is going to turn out. It's a big mystery. But the other night at the orientation meeting, people were already saying, well, we're going to see how this goes, and the next time we're going to do a better job. So people are already really kind of pumped about the idea of doing it. And
it's very exciting.
And somebody was saying, well, why come as a reader? You know, it's open to the public. Most of our publicity was aimed at high school students and at libraries and librarians. And we also wrote to youth groups and church groups to try to really cover as much territory as we could. And first of all, an opportunity to learn just factual information. Explore something that you maybe have never really thought about exploring before, because we're trying to get at people's prejudices, and a lot of times they take those and they sort of set them aside and sit on them and don't bring them out to the open and question them. So this is an opportunity for people to do that, to reflect, to challenge their beliefs, you know, to say, well, I always thought this, but in fact, what can you tell me that is wrong with the way that I think? You know, and an opportunity to ask questions in a safe environment, you know, because you're not just going to walk up to a stranger and ask these questions. You know, it really might not be safe. Why be a book? You know, and the book is because you want to encourage understanding about people like you. You believe that you have a personal experience that's worth sharing. You understand that other people may need help working through their prejudice, and you're generous enough to give up your time for the day to help people work through that. And you get to learn from the people who are your readers, which is the neat kind of interaction. And in all the stuff on the Human Library website, it says that both the readers and the books come away feeling like their life is much richer for having been through the experience. And I hope that certainly is going to be the case for all of us.
I really think it will. I mean, that's certainly true anytime we go and speak to a group, whether it's a college group or...
we found that a lot, that in exactly this kind of thing, we talked to people, and we found that that it's wonderful, and it does. It's wonderful for us, but we always come away from these things realizing that the people we've talked to that maybe didn't understand us and maybe had prejudices about us or misconceptions, they come away realizing they were just people, and it's always a really kind of a feel-good thing.
Well, and I also think I learn a lot about the people who ask questions, because it's through their questions that you sort of learn what direction they're coming at the whole thing from. Because they're going to ask the questions that are most important to them, and that's telling.
It ends up belying their own prejudice, their own questions. It's always enlightening to find out what stereotypes you're actually fighting.
Right.
with different people. You know, and this is a great opportunity for us to do that, and for all the books to do that.
Yeah.
I know we get questions called into the show from time to time from people that have an open mind and are willing to talk to us and try and find out more, that just don't get it, you know, don't understand the trans thing, transgender, transsexual, crossdresser. What are the differences?
The coming out
The whole,
thing.
the whole
Right.
coming out thing, yes.
Yeah, we get
Why
that a
is
lot.
it so important to come out? We've gotten that call a lot. And you know, this is a great opportunity for people that have those kinds of questions about a whole library of different subjects. I suspect,
Religious, sexual
yeah,
orientation, and
Race,
yeah, everything.
culture.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny because at the orientation meeting the other day, I met the fellow who is the Haitian Immigrant book. And Betty Ann was telling us how she Googled transgender stereotypes and then got, you know, the stereotypes that are going on all the book covers. And he was saying that most people would never in a million years guess that I'm college educated, I came from a wealthy family, I had servants when I was growing up,
Yeah.
and we were joking, in a previous life, not here. You know? And he said, you know, where do people get this idea? Well, because there is some truth in part of that stereotype that
Right.
someone witnessed somewhere. But you can't generalize like that and put that label on everybody.
Right.
And the whole idea here is that once you meet a person and have this private discussion, you realize that that label doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
You've cracked through that shell, and now there's a real human being sitting on the other
Yes.
side of that table from you. And it may just be the beginning of understanding, but
Sure.
now that that person is open to new and different ideas, then where they're out and about in the community, they're more receptive and more sensitive to the kinds of comments that they hear and the stereotypes that they witness. And we hope that it's the beginning of growth for that person and an opportunity for us to do it again at another time.
And I think one of the really important things that for people who might be watching and who think this is an interesting thing is you don't have to come to the library with something in mind. There are going to be librarians in the library that will, you know, qualify
Help
your
you.
needs.
Yeah, they'll help put you in touch with somebody who wears a stereotype that you don't understand or that you may be willing to address.
Right,
And they can find a book for you to talk to.
right.
And
Just like if you were to go to a library and say, you know, what's a great romance book for me to read? You can ask these librarians, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Twice married, twice divorced. What does that tell you? I mean, I wear so many different hats.
Yes, and speaking of that, you're going to hate me because I'm going to out you now. You need to be a book, because one of the things that you are that would be very interesting and that people do have stereotypes about is you were Miss Kenosha.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you were the
Pageant
winner of
winner.
a beauty pageant,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is
And a finalist at Miss Wisconsin. I mean,
Yeah, that's-
and a performer for 10 years after that, which
Sing,
was
right.
my life's dream. I just wanted to sing.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
But people do have stereotypes
Oh,
about
yeah.
that
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of thing.
absolutely.
And that would be wonderful.
Well, and I have stereotypes of some of the girls that run year after year after year, you know, just vying for that state title. It didn't matter to me. I wasn't going to win. I just ran. Somebody signed me up,
But you did.
and I won. It changed
Yeah.
my life. Absolutely.
That is so cool.
And
Which would be a great book.
I got money for college. I mean, that's the Miss America pageant is
Yes.
scholarship. It's all scholarship driven. You don't get cash. It goes to a school. I mean,
There's a good reason they do
That's-
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
there is a very good reason. Miss United States is cash and prizes and furs and cars. But the Miss America pageant, which is what I was in, is scholarship driven. And women have earned millions of dollars to go to school
That's great.
on their dollar.
That's a wonderful
So,
thing.
yeah, that was the only, I mean, I went, I figured it was a learning experience. What can I lose? You know, they're never going to pick me, but I learned how to model. I learned how to do hair and makeup. I learned how to speak publicly, how to interview, you know, and I went